few months back, I was spending my free time watching previews for Doom Eternal. I wanted to learn about the bevy of new enemies, new tools, and gameplay mechanics. Admittedly, at the time, I thought it was all a bit much. Doom 2016 is already a masterclass of first-person shooter action, so wouldn't all this fancy new kit just water down the core experience I was looking for in my id Software shooter? The answer in short is no. Almost every addition to Doom Eternal serves as an enhancement to an already stellar formula. Better still, what id has done with Eternal is transform a simple but thrilling gameplay loop into the world's most breakneck game of chess. Rightfully, every game of chess has its pawns. In Eternal, they take the form of returning demons like the Imps and Cacodemons, all of which provide more of a challenge than before. In addition, new enemy types are introduced to add variety to gameplay and give you targets to prioritise. The menacing Archvile will spawn enemies aplenty until you hunt it down and take it out, while the floating Hurt Factory, the Pain Elemental, will launch lost souls to home in on you, gradually eating away at your health. The variety in the respective attack power of each demon presents a hurdle for the player, one that forces one to take a step back and assess the situation, which isn't always easy in the whirlwind of Eternal's combat. You could chip away at these tough guys with your shotgun or plasma rifle, but the game cleverly gives each enemy a specific weakness, forcing you to use the breadth of your new and improved arsenal. Those weaknesses aren't phoned in either. Things are usually more interesting than one enemy being weak to the chain gun. Enemies can be quickly dispersed in unique ways. Take the Cacodemon for instance. The floating sphere can take a lot of punishment from even the deadliest of weapons, but fire a grenade straight into its gob and it'll chow down, giving you a free glory kill for the trouble. There are a few cases where the fastest way to burn down a demon is to simply use a specific weapon, but those cases serve as a means to force the player into using everything in the weapon wheel. Ammo scarcity also supplements this. Expect to run out of resources often and resort to cutting down pawns with the trusty chainsaw, which is more satisfying than ever thanks to a fresh batch of glory kill animations. Across the board, weapons feel fresh and more powerful than before. The super shotgun remains the paramount choice for those in the market for raw killing power, but now it's upgraded with the meat hook, a grappling hook that impales enemies and thrusts you towards them for a clean kill with the Slayer's signature piece. Combine that and other satisfying abilities with level design that incentivizes quick and concise movement, and you've got a combat system that just doesn't stop. The pace of combat is far more aggressive than before, but there's plenty of time to take in the surprisingly stunning set pieces and backdrops of Hell on Earth and some other more fantastical locales, which are far more striking than the previous installment's Mars setting. Doom 2016 experimented with platforming to an extent, but with this new installment, it has leaned fully into the explorative nature of jumping between ledges and clinging to walls. Collectibles and optional battle arenas are hidden behind platforming challenges, and it all provides a welcome level of variety to break up the barrage of blood and guts we've come to expect from this battle-worn series. Whether you want to soak in the blood of demons for Eternal's entire runtime is up to you. If you're invested in the series' enthralling lore, then you'll definitely get what you paid for. The story is still mostly told through text documents, but in the same way John Wick Chapter 2 uses the foundation of its predecessor to delve deeper into the universe of its own unrelenting killer, so does Doom Eternal. The story of the Sentinels, the Doomslayer's origin story, is told lightly through short cutscenes and dialogue throughout, but for those who crave the exceedingly well-written context for their carnage, the game's codex provides more than enough to satisfy. If you're simply in the market for a challenge, it has you covered there too. Eternal is unyielding in its difficulty, especially in later stages. Boss fights, and even certain tanky enemies like the imposing Marauder, which can almost be described as mini-bosses, provide an even more punishing battle. Weaknesses are described in clear detail before an initial encounter, so the pacing is never bogged down as you attempt to figure out how to progress, and animations are easily readable, making for some tough but fair encounters that reward patience and keep you on your toes. Those fights can become frustrating at times as you wait for an opening while struggling to dodge fodder that litters the battlefield. But even amid the confusion of the red mist, the path to improvement is always clear. There are certain visual aids, like the brand new enemy deformation, that helps you gauge your standing in each battle. Even amid the sheer challenge, the power fantasy remains. Every element from the level design to the audio design comes together and contributes to that power fantasy. And you can't talk about Doom's audio design without talking about its raw but refined soundtrack. Like everything else in Eternal, Mick Gordon's score is bigger, bolder, and more confident than its predecessor. In Doom 2016, guitar riffs often took a backseat in favour of a less cliché soundscape, and while Eternal's score is even more clever in its design, this time it isn't afraid to let the metal out a little bit more. Most combat tunes are even more hyperactive than before, and even the ambient music holds a certain intensity as demonic chants fade in, followed by a heavy thud. The soundtrack is a work of art that could very well stand on its own, much as was the case with 2016's rendition, and Battle Mode, the game's 1v2 multiplayer offering, uses it to its full extent. In Battle Mode, you play as either the Doomslayer or one of a vast array of heavy demons with another player alongside you. The Slayer is just as powerful as he is in the single player campaign, while the demons are slightly weaker but have the ability to work together and set traps for the Slayer, spawning demons in his path and cutting off his supply of resources. Battle Mode is far more tactical than you might expect and requires more pre-planning and patience than Eternal's centerpiece. This means that communication is a key component of the demon's ability to survive and thrive, but due to the mode's smaller scale, it's not exactly suited to party play. This means you'll most likely be playing solo, and if that's the case then you better hope your teammate is able to coordinate with you, or else you're in trouble. As the Slayer, you'll occasionally come across a team of Archviles, one of the demons players can choose to embody, who, should you fail to act cautiously, can easily box you in with enough demons to make a Hell Priest scream. If everyone in a lobby knows what they're doing, however, this new multiplayer offering is a surprisingly in-depth mode that presents a unique experience and a fun challenge. But if what you're looking for is to rip and tear, Battle Mode isn't it. The single player remains Doom's pièce de résistance, and after blasting my way to its completion and deciding to go back for more, I'm convinced Eternal is what series fans are looking for. If you didn't enjoy the 2016 franchise reboot, you likely won't find much to enjoy here, but for fans of id's brand of satanic slaying, Doom Eternal raises the bar in almost every single way. Whether you're in it for the adrenaline pumping action or the intriguing backstory, there's a wealth of spoils here to enjoy.